Hello everyone, I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC Perth. In this one, we have Jonathan Micallef versus Oban Elliott. Micallef is 8-1 as a professional, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Elliott is 12-3 in overall, and 4-1 in his last 5. Now looking at Micallef, this is going to be his second fight in the UFC. He made his debut at UFC 312 this February against Kevin Jousset, where he won via decision. Meanwhile, Oban Elliott, looking at his last 5, well, more specifically the last 4, as those were his UFC fights, he defeats Val Woodburn at UFC 318. Then at UFC 304, he beats Preston Parsons. Then finally at UFC 309, he gets probably his biggest win, or at least his most impressive win, I would say, when he TKO'd Basil Hafez. But then, most recently, this June, he lost pretty handily to Suk Young Kyu, where I was thoroughly shocked how easily he got out wrestled by Kyu. But then again, I'm thinking Kyu's a really good prospect, and he's a really good grappler. I just didn't expect him to get out grappled so easily, though. Now, as I say this, you probably think, oh, well, Micallef, who I do believe has really good submissions and is overall a really good grappler, should be able to beat Oban easily. No, that's not what I'm saying. I think I underestimated Kyo's abilities and maybe overestimated Elliott's abilities. Maybe, but I think it's more so I underestimated Kyo more than overestimated Elliott. Because you look at Oban Elliott, he's a really good, well-rounded fighter. He can do everything at a good level. He's proven to be a pretty good striker against Hafez, where he knocked him out with the perfect overhand right to lead to ground and pound. It was a beautiful setup. And then you look at these 2 other fights with Preston Parson and Val Woodburn, where he more embraced the grind and out-wrestled Parson, who's a good wrestler, and was able to out-muscle and just keep Val Woodburn down, who, for his work faults, and I don't think is a UFC-level athlete, is at least in general a strong athlete. For Micallef, if I just go off the Kevin Jousset fight, he did a really good job staying in southpaw and really just keeping him at bay with kicks. That was the main story of that fight. Kick, kick, kick. Occasionally, sometimes they go into the clinch or fight in a different range. But honestly, it was mostly at kicking range, and Micallef did a great job at using said range to his advantage. Sorry about that. But at the same time, that you watch the Contender Series fight, he had a great submission in win via triangle, showing he's well-rounded in all aspects too. And at the same time, you also look at the physical specs. Now, they're both the same at 6 foot, but the reach is a big thing for me, as Micallef has a 77-inch reach, so he'll have a 5-inch reach advantage, as Elliott has a 72-inch reach. This one's tough for me. And the odds do reflect this, because it's plus 105 for Micallef, minus 137 for Elliott. I understand it. I don't even think it's so much Elliott coming off a loss as much as Micallef shows to have really good upside as a prospect. And he's shown to have well-rounded skills. It's just, do I favor UFC experience over upside? I guess that's the big question I have for myself. Because if I just go off their last performances, well, Micallef should win. But while true, you're only as good as your last fight, sometimes I really have to remember, oh wait, look at how this guy's run over his last few years, specifically 2 years. He's really good. Elliott's really good. Like I said, he could do everything. And even though I know I just said he got thoroughly out-grappled, well, maybe I think Suk Young Kyu is just that good. Is Micallef that good? Maybe. We're going to find out. But right now, what I know of, he definitely has good slick grappling. He's definitely good at playing the bottom game. He definitely has good top pressure. And he's shown at range he's got very good kicks at all levels, from leg to head. But at the same time, Elliott's shown to have good wrestling in his own right. He's shown to have good grappling, good positional grappling too. And when it comes to striking, while I don't think he's as good as a kicker, I do believe he's a better boxer. And I do think he might have more power as well. Like I said, now granted, that's mostly me come and think of the Hafez fight where he dropped to Hafez, who didn't lose to Jack Della. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. I will say, I do still believe Oban Elliott is a superior boxer in comparison to Micallef. We just haven't really seen Micallef have to use his boxing, at least in the UFC level and the Contender Series. We haven't really had to see it. So I'll be interested to see that, especially his clinch game, as that's one of the main aspects of a fight Elliott likes to use is the clinch. You saw it, whether it's mostly him grinding people against the fence and or just using clinch strikes, like, you know, those annoying knees to the thigh or something like that. That's a possibility. So I'm interested to see that. Though I also think Elliott's might be the stronger of the two. It's definitely shown with some of his other, especially like Preston Parson. That's what I'm thinking of. Preston Parson's a good wrestler and pretty, I wouldn't say the most elite athlete, but he's definitely a strong welterweight for sure. And Elliott was able to have a lot of success, and I think there wasn't really any trouble Preston giving him. My cat wants to make a cameo, I suppose. I'm turning to BC from Morning Combat, apparently. Overall, though, until I just see more of it, I am gonna pick the side of Oban Elliott. I just think it's not, like I said, it's not based off UFC experience. I just think he has proven to have just a bit more tools in the bag, or I suppose I should say tricks in the bag. And while this loss is damning, sure, I can't say that it's going to define my prediction throughout this entire card. If I just base it off one fight, then I'm not going to pick anyone who's coming off a loss. So, and I just really like Oban Elliott's skills in this. I think he can corral Micallef, keep him from unleashing those kicks, box him up, and when it gets to the ground, I think it's mostly going to be a stalemate, if not Elliott surviving submission attempts, and they jock for position. Mostly, I see this fight being able to be won on the feet with Elliott's boxing. If, a finish, maybe, but Elliott's not really proven to be a finisher. Micallef would be the one to get a finish, as he's proven to be a better finisher, I would say. So, with that being said, my official prediction, I'm going to go with Oban Elliott, and I think he's going to get the decision win over Jonathan Micallef. Again, really close fight. The odds reflect this. And if you pick Micallef, then I would completely understand. Like I said in my last video with Petrosky and Roston, being in Perth definitely could empower him, and it definitely could rise a boost in confidence for him to want to win this fight. So that is always a possibility. But right now, I am going to go with the Welsh gangster to pull it off. So once again, I'm picking Oban Elliott. I'm going to go with the decision. But with that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. If you enjoyed the video, comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Next up, we have Luma Lumbume versus Alexia Taishara. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.